Hey, what's up everybody? This is C.L.S. All-in-One. In today's video, I'll be reviewing a very awesome electronic vehicle accessory called the ATOTO P8. This device is capable of adding a lot of smart features to pretty much any car stereo, new or old, with features such as Bluetooth, CarPlay, and Android Auto, along with backup camera and dash camera support, and much more. The installation of the P8 is very simple. It's pretty much just a plug-and-play device when using just the standard features. It includes its own adjustable mount that can be mounted on the windshield or dash, and a power plug that plugs into a standard 12-volt socket. Then, to link the audio of the P8 with your car stereo, an aux cord can be used if your stereo has an aux input, or you can use the built-in FM transmitter output in the P8 and tune your car radio to the same frequency to play the P8's audio through your vehicle speakers, which sounds nice and clear. And you can also control the audio, answer phone calls, and much more with the included wireless steering wheel remote control, which works great in my 1995 Land Rover. When it comes to the installation of the dash camera and backup camera, there's a little bit more work involved. These features do require some knowledge with wiring and understanding how to route and hide the wires, which I will cover briefly in this video later on. For right now, I'm going to go ahead and unbox the P8 and take a look at everything that's inside the box, then go test this out in my vehicle. So here's a quick look at the box, the P8 on-dash navigator. On the back it does talk about some of the features this does have. Now let's go ahead and open this up. So on the very top here we got the P8 itself, and it does have an anti-glare finish on the front here, which really helps with making the screen a lot more visible, especially in bright conditions when there's a lot of reflections. And here's a look at the back side of the device where the power port plug-in is. Then down at the bottom is two speakers that can be used instead of using your car speakers. Also found on the back is a power button and a reset switch, and a USB-C port that can be used to play MP3 files, or even power the P8 if you don't want to use the main 12-volt plug-in. And in the top right corner, there is a light sensor that can automatically adjust the screen brightness, so the screen is not too bright at night or too dim during the day. Then on the left side is a microphone input, and on the right side is a micro SD card input. And a micro SD card could be used here for recording footage from the dash cam or the backup camera. Now I will go ahead and remove the rest of the items from the box, and there's quite a few things inside here, and I will go through everything one by one. So here's a manual and a quick startup guide to help you understand how this works and how to hook it up. Located on your startup guide is a diagram of your four main connections. You got your 12-volt plug-in, the rear view camera, the front dash cam, and an optional microphone. Here is a look at the suction cup mount that can be mounted on the dash or windshield, and this also has some adhesive on the bottom of it to help it stick to whatever surface. The mount attaches to the back of the P8 with the use of this adapter that just slides and locks into position. Then the mount can just be threaded onto the back of the adapter. The nice thing about this mount is that it has a bunch of adjustment. It can swivel back and forth, pivot up and down, and be rotated in pretty much any direction. And there's even an extra extension adjustment as well. This does come with an external microphone, but I did not end up using this because the built-in microphone on the P8 seems to work plenty good enough for me. And here's a look at the 12-volt power adapter. This features two USB ports and one aux port on this end, and on the other end where it plugs into the back of the P8, it features two camera inputs and one external microphone input. And here's a look at the front dash camera, which hooks up fairly easy, but it does involve figuring out how to route and hide the wiring. And here is the rear view backup camera, which involves a little bit of work to hook up because the wiring has to be tied into the backup lights on your vehicle. And here is some of the installation hardware, including zip ties, mounting plates, and straps, which helps make the install a little easier. And this is the wireless remote control, which can be mounted on the steering wheel with the use of a strap, or it can be mounted anywhere you choose with the use of a mounting plate. Now I will go ahead and plug this in to a 12-volt socket and check out some of the features. And this does include a cover for the wire harness connection to make this look a little nicer when it's installed. Upon boot up, you will be greeted with the ATOTO logo, but this can be changed. And the boot up sequence is pretty fast. It only takes a few seconds. On the home screen, the brightness can be adjusted to whatever you choose, or you can just select auto and it will dim or brighten depending on the lighting conditions. Now, if I click on the icon in the bottom left, that will open up the available apps. So we have CarPlay for iPhones, Android Auto for Android phones, Gallery for photos on USB drive or micro SD card, phone for Bluetooth connection, music for MP3 playback from USB drive, Bluetooth for audio playback from phone, DVR for video recording from dashcam or backup camera, and settings, which I will open up now to change the logo. Then select display, then boot logo. And from inside here, I can choose which boot logo I want to use, which will be Land Rover, since this is going inside my 95 Land Rover Discovery. And the wallpaper background can also be changed from inside the display options. Now it's time to go test this out in my vehicle. So when plugged into a 12-volt ignition powered source, the P8 will automatically turn on when you start your car and power off when you turn your car off. Since my vehicle does not have an aux input for audio sound, I chose to use the built-in FM transmitter on the P8 to output the sound to my vehicle stereo, which is tuned in to the same frequency. For the 12-volt power adapter cord, I decided to route it through the dash and behind the stereo for a cleaner install look, but this required some extra work, and it is certainly not necessary. The power adapter features two USB ports, one for charging and one for charging and data communication with the P8, which supports wired Android Auto, which I will test now. Here's a look at some of the available apps on my phone that are compatible with Android Auto. I can use Spotify to listen to podcasts or music, and it features a simplified menu with artwork. I can also play music stored on my phone through various music apps, such as Samsung Music. The volume can be controlled by either the car stereo or the P8, but I usually just leave the car stereo at a fixed volume and control the volume with just the P8. The wireless remote seems to work great and is a really awesome feature, especially when driving. You can adjust the volume, change tracks, mute the sound, pause the music, and there's even a voice control button that can be used for making phone calls, navigation, and much more.
Call Walmart.
Calling Walmart.
Navigate to the mall.
Sure, Eastridge Mall.
The remote itself attaches magnetically and can be removed fairly easy for use in other locations, but I have not tested how far the remote can still function. The front dash cam is pretty much plug and play, but I did have to route the cord along the dash, then behind the trim panels, then it had to be tucked inside the headliner, then finally mounted just below the mirror, with the use of the already attached double-sided tape. So here's what it looks like after mounting, and the camera can be adjusted up or down to get the optimum angle. And here's what it looks like after getting the cord hidden and all the panels back in place. Now you will want to keep in mind, when it comes to the installation of the cameras, it's really going to vary depending on your car's interior. So what I'm showing you here today in this video is just for an example. Now from the home screen, I can click on the camera icon, then it will ask me to insert a micro SD card in order to record footage. But if you want to just test the camera, you can just swipe on the screen. To record footage from the front dash cam or the backup camera, you can manually select whatever footage you would like to record. But the P8 can also automatically perform loop recording videos, and it has a built-in gravity sensor, which can automatically lock videos once it senses an unusual change in gravity. Now, let's move on to the rear view camera. There is a couple settings that can be changed, such as the rear view guidelines and the automatic recording setup. And as I mentioned earlier, the rear view camera does require a little bit of work to install. First off, the rear view camera cord will have to be routed starting from the dash all the way to the back of the vehicle, and this can be done by removing various trim panels that lead to the back of the vehicle. Then, once you reach the back, you will have to locate the power wire for one of the rear backup lights, and this can be done with a test light. In this example here, I have a helper that's holding their foot on the brake while shifting in and out of reverse, and at the same time I test each wire that's leading to the brake light to figure out which one is the backup power wire.
Off. Reverse. Off.
Then, after locating the power wire, it's time to connect the white wire on the backup camera cord with the backup power wire, and this can be done with a quick splice wire terminal such as this. Then I continue routing the cord to the back bumper, which involved drilling a hole to make it to the outside of the vehicle, which was later filled with silicone. Then, after all that, I was finally able to mount the camera with a few self-tapping screws. And now it's time for a test. So when I put my vehicle in reverse, the backup lights will now provide power to the white wire, which will automatically turn the backup camera on. Now let's check out the wireless CarPlay feature with an iPhone. And just to let you know, the Android Auto is supported by wired or wireless, but the CarPlay is only supported for wireless. So CarPlay is similar to Android Auto, but it does have a slightly better looking interface in my opinion. Just like Android Auto, you can access a lot of the basic apps such as Spotify, messaging, and maps, and you can also use the voice control for navigation, phone calls, and more.
Call Walmart.
Calling Walmart Supercenter.
Thank you for calling your local Walmart.
Now, one thing I'd like to mention is if you don't happen to have a smartphone that supports CarPlay or Android Auto, you can still connect to the P8 via Bluetooth only for just audio streaming. And here is my final thoughts with the ATOTO P8. I think this is a really cool option for anyone out there looking for a more plug-and-play solution that doesn't involve replacing your stock car stereo. The P8 provides a very simple solution for anyone that wants to add modern smartphone features to their vehicle and provides an instant audio upgrade with all the cool features, including Bluetooth, CarPlay, Android Auto, and more. For anyone out there interested in purchasing the ATOTO P8 or any of their other products, be sure to check out the links in the description down below, which also includes a discount code as well. Okay, it's now time for me to go. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, if you could, hit that like button and please subscribe. And have yourself a great day, and I'll see you next time.